Namaste. Let us continue with our journey and dive deep into the blissful vibrations of the book Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramhansa Yogananda. In the last session, we learned about Yogananda's early life and his remarkable childhood, which clearly indicated that his life belonged to a divine destiny. His mother recognized this and encouraged his spiritual aspirations. And when Yogananda was just 11 years old, he lost his mother, whom he loved above all else in the world. And this event made his resolve to find God even more stronger. In today's session, we take a step forward and learn about the infinite possibilities life has to offer. We learn to go beyond our 5 physical senses. Today we will know about an enchanting story of a saint who could be at 2 places at the same time. Yes, friends, this story will open up and will help in breaking us the shackles of our limited mindsets, our limited beliefs, and will facilitate us in looking at life from a very different perspective. So let's start with today's session. Yogananda had planned a trip to Banaras, and his father had a friend named Kedarnath Babu with whom he had lost contact, and he had no address of him. So he told Yogananda to find his friend and hand him a letter to him. And he added that the common friend Swami Kebalananda will help him. So Yogananda is all excited for his trip to Banaras. He finally reaches Banaras at Swami Kebalananda's place. And before he could even introduce to Swami Kebalananda to who he was and what is the purpose of his visit, Swami Kebalananda said, "I know it already." And he further told Yogananda that the person you are looking for, he will be here in half an hour. And now Yogananda is all surprised. He is not able to understand how Swami Kebalananda knows everything, because he is meeting him for the first time, and Swami Kebalananda is also meeting Yogananda for the first time. And before he could even ask, exactly in half an hour, Kedarnath Babu reached there. And now Yogananda is all baffled and he is not able to contain himself anymore. So he finally asked Kedarnath Babu, how did he come to reach here? Who gave him this information? And the answer was even more shocking, friends. Kedarnath Babu said that Swami Kebalananda came to him and asked him to come to his home. But Yogananda said, how is it possible when Swami Kebalananda has been with me all this while and not even for a moment he left this place? And Swami Kebalananda was listening to this conversation, and he said to Yogananda that you shouldn't be so surprised with this. A true yogi can manifest himself at will whenever he wants. It is not difficult for him to have 2 bodies at the same time. So all this while, when Swami Kebalananda was with Yogananda, he was also there with Kedarnath Babu to deliver him this message that Yogananda was waiting for him and he has to deliver him a letter. And Yogananda was still in awe to what he had just experienced. And now it was time to depart. And Swami Kebalananda blessed Yogananda, and he told Yogananda that your path belongs to the path of renunciation, it belongs to the path of yoga. And he further said that he will see Yogananda in a few years' time along with his father. When we hear this story, friends, it is no less than a miracle for us, because we fail to recognize a totally different reality that exists around us, a reality that is beyond a gross physical body, a reality that exists very much in the subtle energy body. And scientists discovered this some years back and proved this to be true. We all have studied quantum mechanics in school about the wave-particle duality. So when an atom or a subatomic particle like an electron, it can be at 2 places at the same time, so manifesting another gross body is too very much possible. Our saints knew the science thousands and thousands of years before, which our science has only discovered a few years back. There's also an article published on this, and I have shared the link of that article in the description box. So if you would like to have more information on this, please feel free to read that article, which talks about that if an electron can be at 2 places at once, why can't you? So friends, this is just the beginning of the unfolding of what we call as miracles. And now coming back to the book. So since childhood, Yogananda or Mukunda, which is his childhood name, they had this strong desire to run away to the Himalayas. And We know that Yogananda was already aware that in one of his past life he was a yogi in the Himalayas, so he had the strong belief that he will find divine in the Himalayas. So this strong desire urged him to run away from home, and so he made a plan along with two of his friends to go to the Himalayas without the knowledge of their families. And it was a long train trip from Calcutta to Haridwar to Rishikesh and finally to the Himalayas. But before they could complete their planned journey, one of their friends, he got scared and he returned back home. And further to their dismay, they were caught by the police officials in Haridwar who hatched their plan of running away from home. And this police officer said to them that we know you're running away from home in quest of the divine. And he further said that what divinity will you find in the Himalayas in comparison to the divinity what we have seen with our very own eyes? And so he started narrating an incident, and he said that he was on a lookout of a murderer who was on the run, and he was disguised in the garb of a sadhu. And this murderer, he was wanted dead or alive. And just then they saw a man who resembled very much like the murderer. So after chasing him for a long time, the policeman threw an axe at him with tremendous force. And the result was that the man's arm, it got chopped off his body and there was blood all over. And this man who was all innocent, he just said, "I'm not the man who you are looking for." And the police officer, he realized his mistake for what he had just done to the saintly looking man. And just as if reading the thoughts, the saintly looking man said that the beloved mother is taking care of me. And he pushed his dangling arm back into its stump, and there it was right at its place without any scar or without any trace of hurt. Listening to this great tale, Yogananda and his friend thought what a great opportunity they had missed, meeting this great yogi. In the meantime, Yogananda's elder brother Ananta reached the police station to get Yogananda back to Calcutta. And in this way, the plan of going to the Himalayas was shattered. But for how long could Yogananda's father and Yogananda's elder brother Ananta could refrain Yogananda from following his path, the path which Yogananda knew by then? It was the path of becoming a renunciant. It was the path of becoming a yogi. His father requested Yogananda to concentrate on his studies and complete his high school studies, and once he is through with his studies, then he is free to pursue whatever path he wishes to follow. And in order to ensure that Yogananda concentrates on his studies, his father arranged a Sanskrit teacher for him to regularly come to his house and give him Sanskrit lessons, and this tutor's name was Swami Kebalananda. But what was not known to Yogananda's father was that Swami Kebalananda was an illumined sage himself. He was a great disciple of Lahiri Mahasaya, and he had spent 10 years in the company of the great saint Lahiri Mahasaya. As it is said that the universe responds to the frequency one is vibrating at, and Yogananda's burning desire to know more about saints, to know more on how to commune with the divine, it got fulfilled when he met his Sanskrit teacher Swami Kebalananda. So apart from having the regular Sanskrit lessons, they too meditated for hours, and Yogananda in this way he got this opportunity to hear personal experiences of Swami Kebalananda with the great Guru Lahiri Mahasaya. We know from the previous lessons how Yogananda's parents became disciples of Lahiri Mahasaya, and how Yogananda he got cured of a deadly and a fatal disease during his childhood only and only with the blessings of Lahiri Mahasaya. But Lahiri Mahasaya left his physical body when Yogananda was still a child, and so Yogananda could not experience the bliss that one experiences when one is around a master who is a living temple of God. But now Yogananda is all thrilled and he's all excited to hear about all the wondrous stories, about all the wondrous experiences through Swami Kebalananda. So Swami Kebalananda, he says that Lahiri Mahasaya is no ordinary saint. He always advised his disciples to follow the path of devotion and taught them Kriya Yoga. What is Kriya Yoga, friends? This we will learn at length in the next sessions, but for now we can know that Kriya Yoga is an ancient meditation technique which facilitates one to be in union with the divine. Swami Kebalananda, he narrates an incident, and he says that there was once a young blind disciple of Lahiri Mahasaya and his name was Ramu. So he asked Ramu that, Ramu, how long have you been blind? To which Ramu replied that since his birth he had no sight. So Kebalananda asked Ramu that why don't you seek the help of the great Guru Lahiri Mahasaya? You are living with the company of Lahiri Mahasaya, who is great saint, who has the miraculous powers. Why don't you seek his help? But Ramu was a bit hesitant to ask this from Lahiri Mahasaya, but still he asked Lahiri Mahasaya to restore his eyesight, and Lahiri Mahasaya simply he put his finger at the point between the forehead, and just within a week Ramu was able to see the light of the day for the first time. His eyesight was restored. So such was the grace and such was the glory and the power of the great Guru Lahiri Mahasaya. And in this way Yogananda learned about many more such experiences, many more healing stories of Lahiri Mahasaya through Swami Kebalananda, apart from having, yes, the normal Sanskrit lessons. So that is it for today, friends, and we will continue with our journey in the next lesson. And for now, we listen to the cosmic chant by Paramhansa Yogananda, and this cosmic chant is one of my favorite too, and it is, what is this life flowing through my veins? Can it be other than divine? What is this life flowing through my veins? Can it be other than divine? Namaste.